So here at Chamisal Vineyards, we have about 100 acres of land that we own, and right now we only have about 66 acres planted to grapes. So we have a lot of fallow acreage, and we were kind of, particularly with the pandemic, I think we had room for more white space in our thoughts, and thinking about different things. How can we sequester more carbon? How do we enhance our biodiversity? And of course, thinking about food insecurity in our community and how that was such a prominent thing during the pandemic. People had lost their jobs, the economy was taking a dive, and how could we help with that food insecurity? And you know what, we know how to farm here. We farm grapes, but we figured we could apply that farming know-how to vegetables and put some of that fallow acreage to use. So for me, it ticked the boxes, right? Plus, we can help feed some hungry people. So that's kind of where we got started, and Christian was kind of the man to take the ball and run with it. So I'll let him talk about how we did this.
So started with an area of the vineyard that it was previously planted to vines, 3 acres. Decided that those vines were no longer fitting our portfolio. So what we decided to do was remove the vines, cultivate the land a little bit. I luckily grew up in the ag area, Santa Maria, California, and so have some connections down there. Reached out to some friends, and they were, gracious enough to donate some irrigation, plant transplants, and actually our neighbor helped us out with some tractor work and helped cultivating the land. We planted, it was about a full acre of area of space, and about half of it was beans, 3 different species, cranberry, cocoa, and dragon's tongue, and then the other half was broken into, we halved that, so it was about half brassicas and half leafy greens. All over the board, we had cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, 2 different types of cabbage, 2 different types of kale, 3 different types of lettuce, zucchini, onions, garlic, bell peppers. Obviously, we had a little salsa section, a salsa garden, tomatoes, some peppers in there, and then some pumpkins.
So one of the cool things that happened out of this was through Glean SLO and the SLO Food Bank, some of that produce gets donated to school kids. And in fact, one of the employees here, her child goes to school locally, and came home with these beans that looked very familiar. And it turns out they came from Chamisal. So that was super cool to see, the engagement of the next generation of the kids locally. It's pretty good. For otherwise, that field would have just been bare dirt. Yeah. So, I think given the modest level of effort, it's been an incredible feat. So I think we're going to continue to do this. I think for me, the next step is I want to bring this into the vineyard and plant edible cover crops. So that's my next thing, is how do we make that ground between the vines? How do we make that productive and help feed people with that? So part 2.
Mm-hmm. To be continued.